Hiya VC, yes, back again. Um, this time it's with a competition entry. There seems to be quite a few of these floating around the VC at the moment. Um, this time it's for Andy Cloudy Milder's 300 subs competition. Well done on getting to 300 subs. Absolutely brilliant. Um, his channel is well worth a watch. Really nice, really great um, presentation of loads of different metal albums from every different kind of genre you could dream of, ranging from early 80s sort of, well, and late 70s metal to through like a lot of some hair metal through to different things from more recently, so covering like stoner rock and all kinds of stuff. So well done, Andy, and here's my entry to your competition. Start off with, now, there were 3 questions that he set, obviously as a theme of 3 to the competition. First question, name an album with 3 in the title or somewhere connected to it. So my choice is the Isley Brothers, 3 plus 3. Do I get a double entry for that, Andy? Because I did mention it twice. No, I'm only joking. This is a great early 70s soul with a bit of funk elements to it. Maybe a bit smooth, but it's just a great listen. Absolutely great listen. And the thing I love most about this is Ernie Isley's guitar. I think he plays some superb solos on this, especially on things like That Lady and Summer Breeze, which are just great tracks, really great. I just loved putting this on. Absolutely brilliant. So there we go. There's my answer to Andy's first question. Name an album with 3 in the title. Andy's second question was to come up with some albums, I'm going to do 3, that were third releases by the artists. So I've managed to find 3. First one's a wee bit dirty. I haven't cleaned it up. I've had this in my possession since mid-80s, I think. This is Patti Smith Group, Easter. Absolutely brilliant album. She was on a roll in the late 70s. Just album after album was just mind-blowingly good. And although this, critics don't rate this as highly as Horses and Wave. Is it Wave next? I can't remember. But the first 2 albums anyway. I loved this. This was the first Patti Smith record I heard in its entirety, and it's got some brilliant tracks on it. There's the band. I mean, highlights for me, obviously Because the Night, which was her hit single, but things like Till Victory, Space Monkey, Ghost Dance, Rock and Roll, Privilege, which is a cover of a Paul Jones song he did for a late 60s mood film, We 3, 25th Floor is brilliant, Easter, where she goes on about different people, especially about Rimbo and all different things, and absolutely fantastic record. Came with the insert as well, with lots of photography by what's his name, Robert Mapplethorpe, who was a fantastic photographer, and I think so there's my first one, Patti Smith Group, Easter. Second choice, I'm going to choose this one. Now these are albums that I haven't shown before, because I thought it'd be quite nice if I could choose 3 albums that I hadn't shown before for at least this section of the competition. This is Free, Fire and Water, another brilliant album. Free, I don't think are mentioned as much as they probably could be on the VC. I don't see as much, but probably because their albums seem to be going for silly prices. Really quite hard to get hold of their stuff now. But this is a great album. I mean, it starts off with Fire and Water, the track, which is absolutely brilliant. Heavy Load is a great track, Mr. Big, and then ends with the full version of All Right Now. I mean, any album that ends with that track like that is a winner. So there's that one. There's the back cover. This was a reissue from the late 80s that I picked up back all the way back then. So this was in my possession from brand new. And then we've got this one, After the Gold Rush by Neil Young and Crazy Horse. Picked this up in a charity shop. I think it was maybe about 1990, after St Etienne released their cover of Only Love Can Break Your Heart, which is on this, which is a fantastic song. Bit beaten up, but it plays well. It used to play really well. Hope it still does. I haven't played this for a while. Absolutely brilliant album. Fantastic pair of jeans on the back. Just track after track on this is just amazing. I mean, you've got opens with Tell Me Why, track After the Gold Rush, Only Love Can Break Your Heart, which is beautiful, Southern Man, which led to Lynyrd Skynyrd recording Free Bird, is a retaliatory track. Don't Let It Bring You Down, one of my all-time favourite songs, When You Dance I Can Really Love. Absolutely think that is just mind-blowingly good. Wish it went on for like hours longer. But overall, just absolutely fantastic. This copy's a bit beaten up, but there's no way I'm getting rid of this copy. Love it. Okay, so that's 3 third albums. Now, Andy's third question was 3 albums by third lineups of bands. And I think I've got these right. This was pretty difficult to sort out. I wasn't sure. I'm not so sure whether I've got these right, but I'm going to present these anyway. Right, the first one is The Cult, Sonic Temple. So for The Cult, they've got a fairly convoluted discography with name changes and all kinds of stuff. But for the sake of this, I'm going to take Dreamtime as the debut Cult album, and that had a lineup of Asprey, Duffy, Jamie Stewart on bass, and Nigel Preston on drums. Then Love Came Next in '85. That still had Nigel Preston on some of the tracks on drums, and it had a guest drummer completing the recording, which was Mark Brzezicki from Big Country, but I don't consider him to be consider that to be a separate lineup, because Nigel Preston was obviously there for the writing of the tracks and the build up to the album, and he recorded some of the, I think it's 3 tracks as well. So that's still the first lineup. Second lineup, so Les Warner replaced Nigel Preston as a full-time drummer for the Electric album released in '87, and then there was another stool change prior to the recording of this one, where Matt Sorum recorded the drums on this. So this is the third lineup of The Cult, and it's Sonic Temple. Brilliant album. I've talked about this before, so I'll leave it at that. Going to 80s pop for the next one. One of my first, probably favourite pop star that I could, listen to the music as it came out was this one. So it's Adam and the Ants. This is Prince Charming. Not the greatest album. There's some really good tracks on here still, but it's not a patch on Kings of the Wild Frontier. Now, this one, debut album was Dirk Wears White Socks, which had a completely different lineup, and but basically what happened was Michael McLaren stole the rest of the band from Adam, and he used them to form Bow Wow Wow as his competing Burundi beat group, fronted by Annabella Lewin. After that, Adam regrouped and put together a new lineup, handily most of which is on here. Marco Perrone became main joint songwriter and guitarist. I get these two mixed up. I think that's Chris Hughes, who plays guitar. Merrick, I can't remember his proper name, was one drummer. Were they drummers? Oh, of course they were. Chris Hughes and Merrick were drummers. Oh, I get this right. Marco Perrone guitar. Now on Kings of the Wild Frontier was Terry played bass. Well, anyway, it was a different bass player. And then for the recording of Prince Charming, Gary Tibbs, who has also played with Roxy Music for a while, replaced him on bass. So that's the third lineup of the Ants, as far as I can tell. If I've made any mistakes, then tough. So there we go. Adam and the Ants, Prince Charming. And this is the one I really had to spend some time working out. I thought that it would be right. I thought I'd have an album by a third lineup of this band, and I think I've got it right. So this is AC/DC, Highway to Hell. Now I've got notes here, and I've got to refer to them because it's a bit, because I can't remember. Right, so High Voltage, the original Aussie release, was recorded by Bon Scott, Angus Young, Malcolm Young. On bass was a mix of Malcolm Young doing some tracks and their uncle from the Easy Beats, George Young, who also produced the album. And then Tony Carunti recorded the main body of the drums on the album, apart from one track. So I'm taking him as the mainstay of that particular lineup. Then TNT was recorded, and there was a full-time bass player for Mark Evans, called Mark Evans, and he played on the next couple of albums. High Voltage, the international release, was a compilation of those two albums. So it's obviously George, Malcolm and Mark Evans playing bass on different tracks. Then, for, I think it was Power Age, I'm pretty sure it's Power Age, yes it was, the lineup solidified. So you had, and on TNT as well, Phil Rudd started playing drums. And then finally, you got a more permanent lineup, I think for the next 3-4 albums. So it's Bon on vocals, Angus on guitar, Malcolm on rhythm, Cliff Williams joined to play bass, and Phil Rudd stayed on drums. And then they recorded 2 or 3 albums at least with that lineup, including this one. And there they are. Highway to Hell. What can you say about this? Absolutely brilliant album. I mean, yeah, they stuck to a formula, but every single album they released, probably for a long time, were just brilliant. Probably the first dip was Flick of the Wrist, I think. Was that the first one after Back in Black? Not sure, but even that's got really good moments on it. So there's my third album by the third lineup, by a third lineup. So there we go, AC/DC, Highway to Hell. And I think I've got that right. If you disagree, well, once again, I've recorded the video. I've done my best. Right. So thanks again to Andy for the competition and his channel. If you've never seen it, then go and watch it because it is absolutely fantastic. And I will see you all soon. Right. Cheers, VC. See you later.